see the sample implementation of composite design pattern using Java. So first I need to remind you that please go and watch the composite design pattern theoretical video, which would be present at the description. The link of that video would be present at the description box of this video, so that you could understand the implementation in a better manner. So please go and watch that video and then come to this video. The reason why I have separated two videos means software design patterns is a common thing. Any language, it can be Java, it can be Python, it can be Ruby, anything. So any language can follow the software design patterns. It's a common concept. So I don't want to mess up with the concept with the language specific implementation. So that's why I have separated the theoretical and real life examples in a separate video and the practical implementation of software design patterns in a separate video, so that the people who are not aware of Java would get more information by learning the theoretical and by watching the theoretical and real life examples video. So, and one more thing, if you want to learn software design patterns in a detailed manner, you can buy a book. The book link would be available at the description box of this video. You can use that link for buying the software design patterns book, which is very I have used that book for learning. So please try to purchase that book on online on Amazon. So now let's come to the topic. Now we are going to see the software design pattern, composite design pattern, practical implementation using some use case. So this is the diagram for explaining the composite design pattern use case. So here is a manager. Manager is a employee. So here employee is an abstract class. Is an abstract class. A manager extends that employee abstract class, and then developer extends that employee class. Excuse me. And then company directory extends that abstract class. Here manager is a leaf. So I have already talked about the leaf and composite nodes in the previous video. Please watch that video and then come to this video. Here this is a manager is a leaf object, and then developer is a leaf class, and then company directory is a composite class. So the key difference between the leaf and composite are composite objects are class. Composite object can accumulate other composite objects and leaf objects, whereas leaf object stands alone. So it won't hold any other leaf objects or composite object. It stands alone. So here manager and developer are the leaf objects, and company directory is a composite object. And then second principle is the operation that can be performed on leaf objects should also be performed on other leaf objects and also on the composite objects. Here print employee details can be performed on manager object, and then print employee details can be performed on developer object, and then print employee details can be performed on company directory. So here two principles are satisfied, and this is one of the best examples to explain the composite design pattern according to me. So here this is the employee abstract class. So we will look into the employee abstract class. Employee abstract class, here public abstract class employee. Here there is an abstract method called print employee details. Developer is a concrete class which extends employee abstract class, and then developer has some specific fields called name, employee ID, designation. Using developer constructor, we are setting the name and employee ID, and then print employee details. Here print employee details is an abstract method. Here we are trying to, in developer class, we are trying to override that print employee details abstract method. So system.out.println name something employee ID and then designation developer. Similarly, we are creating another class called manager class which extends employee abstract class, and then manager has some specific fields called name, employee ID, designation. Using manager constructor, we are setting those fields, and then we are trying to override the print employee details of employee abstract class. So these are the some concrete classes, and then company directory, which is one of the important composite object. So this is a composite class. Here list of employee list. So list of employee. For example, suppose if there's any company, that company would have n number of employees. Those n number of employee details would be stored in this object company directory. So list of employee list. Using constructor, we are creating some empty object for employee list, and then we are trying to override the print employee details of employee object. Using this method, we are trying to print the details of all the employees, and then there is some specific method called add employee. If you observe closely, this add employee is dedicated to this composite object alone, composite class alone. This add employee is not present in leaf class, or in leaf class called developer and manager. This add employee is very specific to company directory. Using add employee method, we are trying to add employees into this list, and then company details. So this is the company details. This company detail extends the company directory class. In this company details, there is a specific field called company name, and then some methods called show company name. Using this show company name, we will try to display the company name of So this is about the composite design pattern classes. Here employee is an abstract, developer is a leaf class, and the manager is a leaf class. The objects that are created for those classes are leaf objects, and company directory is a composite class. The object that is created using composite directory class is called composite object, and then company. This is the main class from which we will try to use the composite design pattern objects. Here we will try to create the employee objects, employee D1, D2, D3. These D1, D2, D3 are developers. So using developer class, we are creating the employees Lenin 10, Chinchu 11, Raja 12. And then we are creating another employee called M1. He is a manager named Rakesh and 1. And then using company details object, we are creating the company details. You are using company details class, we are creating company details object, and we are sending a company name as XYZ. And then we are adding the employees that were created previously into the company details object. Company details dot add employee M1, D1, D2, D3, and then using company details or print employee details, we are trying to print the employee details of that company. So if you run this program, you could see the following output: name Rakesh, employee ID 1, designation manager, and the name Lenin, employee ID 10, designation developer, etc., etc. So we are not focusing on this output, but we are focusing on the concept of composite design pattern. So once again, I am trying to summarize the information here. Manager is a leaf object. Manager is a leaf class. The object that was created using manager class or developer class or leaf object. The object that is created using company directory class is called composite object. So that's the simple way of explaining composite design pattern. If you have any other queries or problems or issues, you could fire those questions in this comment section so that I could give clarity on those comments. And once again, please try to buy the book, which would be very useful for learning software design pattern in a detailed manner using real life examples and real time example. The link for that book would be available at the description box of this video. So please buy that book for better understanding and better learning purpose. Please try to subscribe my channel if you like the videos.